Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, please accept greetings in the mighty name of Jesus. You are tuned in to the Hour of Restoration, brought to you by Ministries Without Boundaries. Again, Ministries Without Boundaries is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And I want to say welcome. Tonight, or is it morning? It's morning, 12 a.m. It's 12 a.m. in my part of the world, wherever you are. Can you tell me? And tell me what time it is. Okay, share it with me. I want to talk about tonight a very touchy subject, 20 things that you should know before you say, I do. 20 things. Simple things, but they're always, most of the time, they are overlooked. So I want to draw them to your attention on this morning. 20 things that you should know before you say, I do. If you refuse to know them, if you refuse to know before you go, as soon as you say, I do, you'll be saying, I won't. I won't. All right? So, these 20 things that you should know before you say, I do. I'm Jasmine Gordon, and I promise I will not. You know what? Let me not say that. I don't plan to spend more than 10, 12 minutes with you. I often say that and I go over my time. So let's try it again. All right, so welcome once again to the Hour of Restoration. God knows that we have so many things in our lives that need to be restored. All right, it's the hour of restoration. And when I say the hour of restoration, I'm not referring to the time. I'm referring to the moment, the season that we're in. So share with a friend, tag a friend, call someone, and let them know that they don't want to miss this. Whether you are married, well, it's saying 20 things you should know before you say I do. And you know what? Even if you already say I do, still listen, because this may still help you. So tag a friend, call a friend, share with a friend, because tonight we want to know those 20 things that we should know before we say I do. Good morning, Sister Mavis. Good morning to you. Good morning. I am grateful and thankful that you are here. Thank you for keeping me company. Just share this information with someone. Share it on their page. They may not be here at this hour. Maybe they're sleeping. Maybe they're out. It's Friday night. But as soon as they wake up, they'll see it. So I want to share with you tonight the top 20 things to know before you say I do. And they are in no particular order. All right, so it's just 20 things, and I'm not saying you have to do this first or this second or third. All right, first you want to know what is the person's priority. You're going to ask, and this is not for female versus male. I'm talking to both male and female. Okay, what is your priority? What are your core values? What is your relationship with God? Do you fear God? And here's an important one. You must know how to love yourself first. And if I should put them in order, that would be number one. Number one would be Know how to love yourself first. Because if you do not love yourself, it's impossible for you to love someone else. Then you also want to know, does your spouse love you? Does he love you? Does she love you? Does she love you? Does he love you? You want to know that. The love cannot be one-sided. It takes two to tangle, they say. So you must know, you must first love yourself. You must find out if your spouse loves you or you love your spouse. You know, or is your spouse, are you in love with him? Are you in love with her? Are you? Find that out. Sometimes we enter into relationship and we see little red flags and we pay no attention to them. We let it slide and we say, oh well, she will change, he will change. As soon as we get married, things will get better. Sorry, it won't. Once you allow the horse to go through the gate, you can't get it back. It's gone. So you have to set boundaries ahead of time. All right, so I'm not even going into that part. I'm talking about the top 20 things that you should know before you say I do. If you don't know, as quick as you say I do, you'll be saying I won't. Amen. All right, so you first have to love yourself. Then you have to make sure you are in love with your spouse. Your spouse is in love with you. You must know if your spouse loves you. Yes, you should know that. You must know if you love him, or you're just tolerating him, or you're just tolerating her. Tolerating, I'll just tolerate him now, I'll grow to love him. I'll just tolerate her now, I'll grow to love her. No, no, baby boy, no, baby girl, don't take that chance. No, you can't fix it when it's already broken. You cannot change the rule of the game in the middle of the game. You cannot change the rules of the game in the middle of the game. And, you know, women, we tend to do that because we have this maternal instinct that, okay, I'll marry him. I don't really like this. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. And we could name a million things that we don't like. But because there's one thing that we like, we tend to cling. Because women, we tend to be so clingy at times. We cling on to the wrong person, you know. So don't follow your emotions. Don't get carried away with your emotions. What is your spirit saying? Is your spirit saying yes, marry him? Is your spirit saying yes, marry her? Is your spirit saying no, run, walk away, leave it alone, just be friends? What is your spirit saying? So you don't want to marry somebody because you can tolerate them now. Because that thing that annoys you now, oh God, it will kill you later. It will kill you later. So make sure whatever you're tolerating now, it's something that you can compromise with and overlook in the future. I must let you know this before I continue. A wedding lasts for a day. A wedding lasts for a day, but a marriage is a lifetime. When the wedding is over, the marriage has just begun. When the wedding is over, that's when your marriage begins. So, bear that in mind. So you plan this lavish wedding, you plan all of this, but there are things that you should know before you go. There are things that you should know before you say, I do. Okay? All right, so you also want to know, how does your spouse treat his or her parents? How does your spouse treat his or her parents and siblings? How does your spouse treat his or her siblings or his or her parents? What is the relationship like between your spouse and his family. Is he a family oriented person? Does he love family? Does he care about family? Does she embrace family? So you must know. Also, you want to find out, was that person married before? If yes, okay, what caused the relationship? What's the reason why that relationship ended? Was he or she married before? If yes, what is the reason why that relationship ended? You must also know how your spouse will respond to disappointment. Is he or she the person who is quick to get mad and angry and slam doors and cabinets and throw plates and throw temper tantrum if things doesn't go his way or her way? How does your spouse handle disappointment? Is he or she the person to say, well, right now I'm so frustrated. Right now I'm so confused. I can't talk. I don't want to eat. I don't want to do this. You got to know that before you say, I do. You also want to know if he or she struggles with anger or impatience. Does your significant other struggle with impatience or anger? You want to know before you say, I do. You also want to know if he or she is a great communicator. You want to know if there will be a communication, if there will be communication in the relationship. Not just talking, because everybody talks, but not everybody communicates. You also want to know, does your spouse have a reasoning ability? Can he reason with you? Can she reason with you? You want to know that. Can he communicate with you? Can he speak to your intellect? Can he speak to your spirit? How will he communicate? How will she communicate? Can he communicate spiritually, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, intellectually? How will he or she communicate? You need to know that. If you say I do before you know that, you're going to be in problem. You're going to be in trouble, because when you want to communicate, he barely wants to talk. Are you with me? All right. So you must also know if he or she has the ability to reason. You must also know that if he or she is able to exhibit self-control under pressure. Before you say I do, you must know if the person you are planning to marry can exercise self-control under pressure. You must know that. You must also find out what are your likes, what are your dislikes. Don't wait until you get into the marriage, then you're going to ask these questions. There are some questions that you have to ask and know before you say I do. Because some questions are off limits after you say I do. Nobody wants to talk. No one wants to communicate. No one wants to be asked any questions. Nobody wants to say anything. So you must know these things before you say I do. All right. So you must know what are the do's and the don'ts. What is your expectation of me? Ask her, what do you expect of me? Ask him, what are your expectations of me? How will he or she deals with illness? Whether you get sick or his or her parents get sick, how will he or she deals with illness of a spouse or parents? Ask your significant other, should in case you lose your job or your source of income, do you have a backup plan? Do you have a plan B? Should you lose your job or source of income, do you have a plan B? How do you plan to take care of your family? How do you plan to support your family? You want to ask those questions. How quickly will you resolve an issue? Are you the person, if something happens this morning, you won't talk to your significant other for 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 3 months, for the whole year? How will you handle a situation? How will you handle a dispute? How will you resolve an issue? Can we talk about it? Can we reason it out? Can we communicate about it? Find out if that person is a violent person. You must know that. And that would, you'll see the little telltale signs, the little angry, boisterous, yelling, screaming, and slamming stuff. You will see that. So you must find out, is that person a violent person? If there is a disagreement, who will you call first? You must find that out. If there is a disagreement, who will you call first? Will you call mama first? Your friends? The pastor? Your siblings? Or will you try to reason it out with your spouse? Who will you call first? You want to know that if there is a disagreement between both of you, that the only person in the top of the triangle should be God. A lot of marriages are broken up because of third-party interference. Something happens in the house and either the wife or the husband has to take it out to their friends. And of course then you'll hear, oh, I can't talk to him. Oh, I can't talk to her. Oh, we can't talk. Did you see? Because from the beginning you need to know the top 20 reasons before you say I do. If you don't, as quick as you say I do, you'll be saying, oh no, I won't. Okay? So, how quickly will you resolve an issue? Will you argue it out, fight it out, slam it out, shout it out, yell it out, scream it out? How will you handle a situation? Are you in debt? Who do you owe? Do you owe anyone? And if yes, what are your plans to pay your debt? What are your plans to be debt free? What is your long-term goal? What is your long-term goal? Do you have set goals? What are your priorities? I asked that at the beginning. Will you be okay relocating? What if we get married and my job is taking me elsewhere, or my family, or for whatever reason you have to relocate? Will that be okay? You must know that before you say, I do. What are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? I'm not saying to ask it like this, but you want to know, do you have some money? Hey, but try to find a nice way how to word that. But that's what it is, basically. You need to know that your spouse is bringing something to the table. Love alone won't do it. Love is a big portion of it, because you may be a millionaire, and if there's no love, you still won't have a marriage. So, but what we need here is a balance, right? And of course, don't get me wrong, let me kind of fix this or soothe this out a little bit. You can meet someone who has nothing, but they are ambitious. They are willing to try. They are willing to do better with their life. You see they have the potential to do more, to give more. Then by all means, if you see that you can work with that person and you both work together and build, because they weren't born with anything. We weren't born with anything. We came here naked. So some people, they are ambitious, so they strive towards their goal. They have priorities, they set goals, and they pursue them. So it's okay if you meet someone who has nothing, but they're willing to build something, build life with you. They are willing to, they are like a go-getter. They're not lazy. They're not sitting down depending on you while you have to be doing everything. No. You must see that potential in that person, whether it's him or her. Okay? What are you bringing to the table? How will you support your family? Okay. And here's the big one. In my eyes, after marriage, will you still date me? You want to know that. After marriage, will you still date me? Will you still have quality communication with me? Will you still spend quality time with me? A lot of times people get married and they think, oh, I got her now, or I got him now, so we don't have to talk anymore. We don't have to go on dates anymore. We don't have to communicate anymore. You know, we don't have to spend that much time together anymore. Oh no. That's after marriage. That's when you want to spend some time with each other. So one, you can be married for 50 years, 70 years, and you still don't know your spouse. But the more time you spend together, the better the friendship grows. And when you become friends, now it's going to be harder for you to be separated or divorced. Because when you will hurt the husband, you won't hurt the friend. When you'll hurt the wife, you won't hurt the friend. So because of that friendship, because you already foster that friendship, you're going to try to work things out. You will not like everything about your spouse. It's not possible. It's not possible unless you created that person for yourself. I don't think that's possible either. You know, but make sure when you do say I do, you continue to date her, continue to date him, go on lunch dates. And listen, disclaimer here, I'm not a relationship therapist. I'm not. I just have some common sense in that area. All right, so the top 20 things you should know before you say I do. And if you don't know before you go, as quick as you say I do, you'll be running and said, ouch, I won't. All right, I hope that I was helpful this evening. You may find a lesson or two. You know, you may be married already. Maybe you can still find something in there. Go back and play the tape. Share it with your friend. You have someone with your friends. You may have someone who is planning on getting married, someone who just got married, someone who is already married. So feel free to share this video. I am, once again, Jasmine Gordon. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for keeping me company. Lady D in the house. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here with me. God bless you. God bless you. To God be all the glory. And as always, I like to say, yesterday is gone and in the tomb. Tomorrow is not yet born, still in the womb. But today is life. Live it as if it's your last. And don't forget that God can do more for you in 5 minutes than you can do for yourself in a lifetime. All you have to do is make the choice, and God will make the changes. But don't get it twisted. It's your choice that will determine your destiny. And it's your choice that will determine where you spend eternity. It's your choice that will determine with whom you spend eternity. Hey, it's Jasmine saying good night. God bless you. Thank you for stopping by.